So today, while I was working on a totally separate video, I stumbled upon a pretty serious issue with Createx 4030 Balancing Clear. This is a perfectly good bottle of 4030 Balancing Clear. It's never been opened. When I shake it, you can hear the little ball moving around inside. This is not a perfectly good bottle of 4030 Balancing Clear. When I shake it, you can hear a slight bit of liquid moving around inside, but you don't hear that little ball. In fact, you can see where the little ball is in the bottle, right there. Notice, it's not moving. I don't know if the camera will pick this up or not, but I have used approximately that much of the product in this bottle. So maybe a third. The rest is hard as a rock. Now I can't tell you specifically how long this bottle has sat since I last used it. It's been at least a month, maybe 2 months. Not long enough, in my opinion, for this to occur. So that's a problem. These run about $30, give or take. This is a 16-ounce bottle, so that's about $20 worth of product that I'm going to throw in the trash, and that makes me mad. That really makes me mad, but it is what it is. Let's move on. So let's look at why this occurred. I'm not an expert, but I can give you my best guess and opinion based on my own experiences. The chemical makeup in the 4030 Balancing Clear is different compared to the original Createx airbrush colors, the Auto Air colors, the Wicked colors, and the illustration colors. All of those paints are acrylics. This is an acrylic urethane, which is great, especially if you work on hard surfaces. What this does for you is it allows your paint to spray better, it allows it to dry faster, and when it does cure, it cures to a more durable finish. It is absolutely a fantastic product, especially for those who are more into the automotive custom paint world. It's a great product if it's usable. Right now, this is not usable at all. Like I said, there's a slight bit of liquid in the top, but that's more than half a bottle that now I have to throw in the trash. Why do I think this happened? Part of the problem is these caps are not the greatest design in the world. It could have been that I just didn't get the cap tight enough and some air got into the bottle and that caused everything to cure. In fact, I'm positive that air got into the bottle and that's what caused this problem. How it got into the bottle, I'm not 100% certain. These caps are not spectacular. For one, if you don't get it tightened down really good, you're not necessarily going to have an airtight seal. The cap on the top may not necessarily have an airtight seal either. Problem with these caps is once you pour paint out of the little spout, you're going to have some spillage, and that can dry and cause the lid not to shut all the way down. When I looked at this one, it didn't look like there was any dried paint in there that would have caused it to not close all the way. It looked like it was closed all the way to me. It may not have been. I really don't have any idea. Point is, these caps are not the greatest design. Createx could do better. I wish they would, but that's probably not going to happen. This is the only time that I've ever had a bottle of one of their products dry up like this, to where it's just not usable whatsoever. It is what it is. Again, I'll move on. So what is a good solution? That I'm not 100% sure on either. I've got an idea and I'm going to try something. Whether or not it's actually going to work will take some time. But this is an issue that you guys need to be aware of, for one, especially if you use these products, and two, if this solution that I've come up with actually works, you might be able to implement it as well. So here's my idea. The factory seal, when you have a brand new bottle, that factory seal is great. This will last a really long time with that factory seal on it. Once you remove that factory seal, you're introducing air into the system. And like I said, I've never had this problem before, but this time I did. So my idea, the first idea I had was to just take a piece of plastic or something and drape it over the threads and then screw the lid back on and call it good. The problem with that is I've tried that before in the past, and the plastic winds up getting torn and ripped on the threads, and it makes a mess, and it's just not the best alternative. So I thought if I can sort of replicate that factory seal, that might work better. So I got to thinking, what can I use to put on top of the cap? Well, as it turns out, these little 2-ounce plastic cups that I use to mix paint in, it's got a little bit of an embossed section on the bottom of the cup. I assume that's for rigidity purposes. As it turns out, one of these caps almost fits perfectly into that little embossed portion. So I thought if I can use this as a seal on the top of the bottle, in between the cap and the bottle, that might work better. So what I did was I took a pair of calipers and measured what the inner diameter is of one of these caps. One other quick little tip is I actually save these little caps. Anytime I empty a bottle of reducer or airbrush cleaner, anything basically that doesn't require me to clean paint out of the inside of the cap, I take the cap off and keep it. The reason behind that is, again, these are cheap little plastic caps. And once you open and close these so many times, sometimes the top of the cap will actually break right off. I prefer the top of the cap to remain captured. It's just easier. You'll probably still get a good seal even when it's broken, but I prefer just to put another cap on there. So there's another tip. Anyway, the inner diameter of one of these larger caps, I'm talking about the 16-ounce or the 32-ounce bottles, is roughly about 1 1/8 inches. So I took a artist circle template, found the 1 1/8 inch circle, and then I traced that onto the bottom of the plastic cup with a Sharpie. Once I had the pattern drawn out on the plastic cup, then I took an X-Acto knife and cut out the bottom of the cup, and from there I just used a pair of scissors to trim out the actual circle. I did have to trim on it a couple times, but eventually I got a pretty good fit on the inside of this cap. So my hope is this makeshift seal will create a better airtight seal on this bottle once it's opened, which will be today because I actually need some of this product for another video that I'm working on. So once I've opened this bottle and used the product that I need to use, I will replace this cap with the cap that has the makeshift plastic seal. Obviously, it's going to take me some time to figure out whether or not this is actually going to work. I will get back to you guys and let you know what I find out. Until then, my best advice is to buy smaller quantities. If you don't need 16 ounces, buy the 8 ounce. If you don't need 8 ounces, buy the 4. If you don't need 4 ounces, buy the 2 ounce. Because at the end of the day, this can cost you money. It's cost me roughly $20. It can cost you money if the same thing happens, and it can cost you time if you have to order a replacement product for a product that you thought you already had in stock. Time is money. I am in no way, shape, or form trying to bash on Createx. Createx makes fantastic products in my opinion. I use them every day. I will continue to use them every day. They work extremely well for what I do. But this is an issue that I think you guys need to be aware of, especially if you use these products. So I will leave a link in the description below where you can get these 2-ounce plastic cups that I use. Also check out the Wicked Art Studio Teespring store. I'll leave that link in the description if you want to add some fun to your wardrobe, show your passion for airbrushing off. There's some merchandise there available for purchase. I hope you guys got something out of this. If you did, remember to like, subscribe, and share. I'm Trevor with Wicked Art Studio. I'll see you guys next time.